name is Robert Genito, and today I'm really happy to talk with all of you about what I think really matters in this blockchain industry, something that we can all use, something that blockchain technology is moving towards. Let's see. This has incredible weight to do with really the financial, the financial products that we have today. There's really like a holy grail that everything has been going towards. So this talk is about liquidity pools and the holy grail of financial products. A little bit about myself. My name is Robert Genito. I've been obsessively in this industry for over 10 years. It started with mining in spring 2011, but one thing that I've noticed every year that I found really interesting is every single year I kept running into people who would tell me, oh, I'm way too late. I'm like, dang, if only I was here last year. This is people telling me this in 2012, 2013. Like, I'm way too late to the boat here. And I felt that way too, but I just kept hearing over and over and over again, I'm too late to the boat. I notice as a common feeling, but who here is new to cryptocurrency in the way where you have never owned cryptocurrency before? Okay, cool. How about you've bought cryptocurrency for the first time within the last 2 years? Okay, last 5 years? Okay, anybody have bought cryptocurrency before 5 years ago? Cool. All right. So you've seen a little more of the natural cycles that it appears to be going through. Well, for people who are just new into this, I think you're all extremely early with what's going on. So a little more about myself. I worked with the Dash Core Group, a couple other companies, and we led Dash to number 3 in the coin market cap. Being that we really understood adoption and how to make that happen and what people really cared about in the first place. I'm a pioneer in decentralized trading. So what that means is that when you're trading from one asset to another, from Bitcoin, US dollar, you're not relying on a centralized party. Okay. In decentralized trading, it could also be like, some of you may have heard of local Bitcoins, or where people meet up with one another. Decentralized trading is something that we've all done for a long time, but not really in the computing space. And that really opened up a lot of room for something called liquidity pools. If you're buying cryptocurrency, or you're selling your cryptocurrency, inevitably there's an opportunity called a liquidity pool. There's an opportunity where you are always supplying the demand. You're always supplying the inventory for people who want cryptocurrencies. And then here this comes into crypto collateralized loans. People have realized long ago, but especially in the blockchain asset world, people have realized that, hey, these blockchain assets tend to go up a lot, and if I'm liquidating them, I am potentially missing out. So I know we've all had the experiences of, all right, I sold my cryptocurrency, sweet. And then months later, like, damn it, man, it's like 5 times in value. Or I bought cryptocurrency 3 months ago and I was just totally screwed. No matter what position we're in, this world is growing so much that we tend to sometimes feel like we're missing out, or perhaps we do feel like, I did great. I'm very proud of myself right now. So crypto collateralized loans, that means you're giving your cryptocurrency to somebody as collateral for them to give you like US dollar in return, or maybe something else, or maybe you're giving your NFT up for collateral, right? They can all be the same. This allows for massive opportunity. The world we're building here is mimicking the financial industry, but also making it a lot more efficient. Oh yeah, about this holy grail for financial products, I've realized 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote some articles on the future of money, because I was really interested in the past of money and how money has developed, and really what its function was in the first place. It has just been to represent value. And I see here that even with cryptocurrencies, what we're constantly going forward and forward and forward with is we start with, this cool product and we get to this other cool area. And what is that? Well, that is a financial product that increases in value over time. Really, that's what we all do want. Well, I'm in the savings industry now, and it's really interesting, especially if you can get yourself to become aware of it, how afraid a lot of us are of losing value. Surprisingly, unless you do some emotional work on that, you'll realize, oh, I might be afraid of money, and I might be afraid of losing value. You know, that's okay. But that's why these services exist, to help us. If there's some cash that we're not using, not deploying, we want to save it for the future, the holy grail of these financial products are they preserve our value and they're designed to only go up over time. Now I'm talking about a product that kind of exists today, but what like that does exist today? Well, this isn't a new idea. This has been around since the Silk Road times, the ancient Silk Road times in China. And this is through gold, silver, using precious metals or diamonds, whichever. And then governments or nations, banking systems, jewelers, companies selling you their securities. This has all come out to help people preserve their value long term. To help you preserve what you're using as a medium of exchange. So I think you all understand what I'm talking about here. By the way, when they asked me to speak, I don't think they realized I have like a major ASMR voice. And I have a YouTube channel that just doesn't talk about any of this. It talks about like fruit, eating fruit and stuff. And one of the biggest comments is, hey, you should do ASMR. It's like, all right, ASMR. So I hope you're enjoying the ASMR voice. So these have been collectively happening on the blockchain. So all these blockchain technologies are working together to really give us this, to give us a product that preserves our damn value and just goes up over time. All right, so now we all know that with blockchain technology, or we're all learning at least that with blockchain technology, this is helping us be much more efficient and have a very equitable system. And what I love is there's this interview with Vitalik Buterin, one of the founders of a smart contract system, Ethereum. The interviewer said to him, I'm gonna have to ad-lib this, I don't remember, hey, aren't you worried that you're destroying jobs? And he was way more interested in the salad that he's eating, and he's just like, destroyer of jobs, bringer of better ones. If you all don't see this yet with blockchain technology, it is automating our accounting, automating our finances. It's automating something that's boring. You know, I dated an accountant long ago, and she was telling me that she hated her job, but she was like a senior accountant, auditor, and I was just amazed at how boring she found her job, but she still did it every day. So these technologies are going to liberate us human beings to do way more creative things, like, I don't know, all these technologies I'm going to go through to let you see where we're starting, what we want, and where we're going, which is, I believe, a single asset, a new type of blockchain asset that preserves your value and only goes up in value over time, regardless of negative market activity. So Bitcoin, we all know this one at this point. That was an important step for mimicking scarcity. Mimicking scarcity, so instead of going through the economics of how that worked, to preserve value and just grow value over time, you have to be really in tune with what is scarce in this world. Some people think water is scarce, or space is scarce, or ideas are scarce. You could go on, et cetera, or gold is scarce, but really, no. Even hear people say that time is scarce. Okay. But no, what's really scarce, the only thing scarce in this universe is your attention and your intentions, whether you're going to keep them going or not. So scarcity has a lot to do with us, with our technology, or the human being. Now this came in later where Ethereum was born, and Ethereum has a really cool spot in human history here. We had long ago with like computers, and in the 70s you had Steve Jobs telling people, like, oh, this is really cool. We're amplifying people's abilities to think. We're amplifying people's talents. We have We have 18 kilobytes of memory. No one could ever possibly use that. So let's say you use that to amplify our talents. All right, great. We all saw this. Computers were like the bicycle of the mind. It amplified our talents. A couple decades later, we had the internet was born. More like the internet came together with CERN, and then everybody was getting more connected through their telecommunications providers. And then that amplified our ability to communicate. Yes, Robert, amplified, we know this story. But with Ethereum here, another couple decades later, where Bitcoin was showing a new way to do transactions and a new way to model scarcity, you have Ethereum and now others coming in to show that, transactions themselves are much more complex. Let's amplify our ability to transact. Now that's freaking huge when you consider the fact that everything we do is a transaction. Questions and answers later, that's a transaction. So this is where these things have really pumped into. I'm going to go by this real quick and use this as an educational tool for many of you who are new to cryptocurrencies or even into cryptocurrencies and haven't used these systems to see how you can preserve your value and grow it over time. I think that's a really interesting use case. So we have a system called Uniswap. It is a protocol for decentralized exchange and liquidity pools. Once again, liquidity pools being pools of people who are providing the inventory for everybody to buy and sell back and forth. We have Aave. Aave is one of many, a liquidity protocol that works with collateralized lending. So Aave is, think of it where you go to get a loan. In today's world, you'll go to get a loan, you might put up your car as collateral, you might put your banking CD up as collateral, or some other things, and in return you get money, in return you get a vehicle, or whatever it is. So Aave is that broker for your lending or whatever, but you deal with zero human beings the whole time. And then we have where these systems are starting to condense into what people really just care about in the first place, and let's call that time-locked deposits, or staking, where you put down your stake and you say, hey, here, I'm holding this value and I want it to increase over time. By the way, some numbers, Uniswap, there's over 5 billion in the market right now. It's probably more like 7 or 8 because they have multiple versions. Aave today, over $13 billion in deposits that people are borrowing, et cetera, back and forth. Well, the Hex market cap is 32 billion, showing that people do want an asset that just grows over time. They want somewhere to preserve their value. And here we have Genito token, which are time-locked deposits that you can leverage and trade. So how many people here have had a CD from a bank? So not very impressive, but what you can do with it, though, is cool if you're using it as collateral. Let me move on here, though. So take some notes on this. If you don't know about Uniswap and you've never used it, I tell you what, experiencing it, you're going to learn far more than coming to conferences and listening to people speak. So go to app.uniswap.org. It can be very useful for yourself to preserve your value and grow it over time. But my point is, experience it, and you'll learn far more from experiencing it. It's sort of like Monopoly. Monopoly being a board game that has a lot of rules. And I don't know what number 5 means. Does that mean I have 5 minutes? Okay. Yeah. I literally thought you were just like, let me show this guy number 5. Cool. So, just like Monopoly, you could spend all day reading the rules and you wouldn't understand jack. You gotta play it. So Uniswap, you can get your stable coins. To use Uniswap, join the liquidity pool, and you're going to make between 12 and 18% APY today or over the last year. Synthetics, layer 2s, a lot of things that are a little scary to hear for a newcomer, 30 to 85% APY. And these meme coins that are on Ethereum are earning over 100% APY. Don't know how sustainable that is, but that shows that, hey, there are options. Look at this. There are options that will increase your value over time. So go to YouTube, get Ether currency, and learn how to do this. Aave. So you can lend without losing your collateral. The protocol works for that to happen. You can earn up to 19% APY. Previously, this was a really bad idea. I'm sure you've heard from others or from financial advisors that the worst thing you could do is lend your friends money. And okay, I guess that's a bad thing. But here, this is a system that specifically combats that, protects your collateral, and you earn a good interest. Quick story. I did this in September with a business that I'm involved in, and instead of liquidating about $100,000 worth of Ethereum or Ether currency, right? Because that's what we can do. We can liquidate these things for cash. We just really felt, myself, the financial officer, we just really felt that, we had to get cash from one of our pools. We just felt that liquidating Ether was not a good idea. So let's not think about that option. But the option where we could borrow US dollar coin against that seemed like a good option. Last month, as it was quickly crossing over $4,000 per Ether, our collateral, though we borrowed about $75,000, our collateral was then worth about $1 million. And so we paid back our collateral, cashed it out, and we would have lost that $900,000 opportunity if we weren't using these systems. And when that happens for you, you're going to be very happy. You're not going to care about what the Ether fees are. So go to YouTube, learn how to do this. It's going to be worth your time. I probably have 1 minute left with my time perception. So Hex, time lock deposits. This addresses a huge industry, over $7 trillion through the US and China. But what's going on right now is this is a single asset where people are doing what they want to do with it in the first place. Have number go up, have their value go up. In the last 30 days, people have made about 1% on their money, or 12% APY. Once again, huge market cap. YouTube, how to buy and sell Hex. It really shows that there is a demand for a single asset that does this. Hex has outperformed, or Hex being the only successful blockchain asset to do this so far, and to have a 1.5 years of running time experience and real data to show you some proof of its concept. You could say Hex is up 1,000x, but it's most fair to say over 500x. That really just throws Ethereum and Bitcoin into the dust. So the Genito token, this does a lot of the things that Hex has proven, but here it has a lot to do with savings. What we want to do, preserve our value. And I think it addresses the holy grail of financial products in the first place. It's designed to preserve and grow locked value by hyper-focusing on the important fundamentals that matter. This will be the first asset that you can lock up, and that locked value can be traded or leveraged. Has not done an ICO, but $18 million market cap today. Where you can learn more about this, it is an early opportunity, start by going to Genito.com, where you can have short-term savings, self-influence, 12% APY. What does that mean? That means that you influence your APY. On all of these blockchains, there's a lot of things that we can do to have the system work that all these blockchains do in the first place. So we're in a world where you can now influence your APY. And that's what this service does. How does it work? Okay, like any CD. But to get more information, sign up at Genito.com. There's no deposit required, but if you use the promo code GENIUS, which is for the Geni token, if you use that, you're going to get 5% of your value right away. This is only available for 3 days, but it's worth at least signing up to get information about this so you can learn more on it. In other words, $100,000 deposit, the company adds $5,000 to your account, and there's no limit on this, and it's doing good. If we have time for a Q&A, I would love to answer some questions. I don't believe we do, but I do want to say thank you so much for listening, and it was lovely talking to you all. That's it.